I used to believe I had the perfect marriage. I was wrong about everything. My name is Daniel Carter, and at 39, I thought I had life figured out. Financial consultant at a respected firm downtown, owner of a 4-bedroom colonial in Westchester, father to 2 beautiful children, and husband to Melissa, the woman I'd been with for 14 years, married to for 11. The house smelled like vanilla candles that evening in April. Melissa was humming in the kitchen, making Tommy's favorite spaghetti while Sophie colored at the breakfast bar. The scene was so perfectly domestic, it could have been a commercial. "How was your day?" she asked, not looking up from the stove. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a messy bun. "Johnson signed the portfolio restructuring," I said, loosening my tie. "3 new clients this month." She smiled, that same smile that had knocked me sideways when we met at her cousin's wedding 14 years ago. Back then, she'd been a bridesmaid in lavender, laughing at the best man's terrible toast. 3 years of dating, then 11 years of marriage that I thought was solid. "Daddy, look!" Sophie held up her drawing. "That's you with your briefcase. It's perfect, sweetheart," I said, kissing the top of her head. Tommy burst through the back door, grass stains on his soccer uniform. "Dad, Coach says I might make starting lineup next game." This was our life. Saturday morning pancakes where Melissa would make Mickey Mouse shapes for the kids, late-night work sessions where she'd bring me coffee without being asked, family movie nights crammed on the couch. But lately, something had shifted. Melissa checking her phone during dinner, angling the screen away, working late at the marketing firm where she'd been for 5 years, though they'd never required overtime before. A new perfume that wasn't the one I'd bought her for Christmas. "I might be late tomorrow," she said that night, sliding into bed beside me. "Sarah wants to go over the Morrison campaign again." "On a Thursday?" I asked. "You know how she is," she replied, turning away, pulling the covers up. Perfectionist. The bed felt bigger somehow, like there was an ocean between us instead of inches. She used to fall asleep with her head on my chest. When had that stopped? The next morning, I watched her get ready for work. She spent longer on her makeup, chose a dress I hadn't seen before, black, fitted, professional, but somehow different. When she kissed me goodbye, it was quick, distracted. "Love you," I called after her. "You too," she said, already halfway out the door. That evening, tucking Tommy into bed, he wrapped his small arms around my neck. "Dad, why does Mommy smell different?" he asked. "What do you mean, buddy?" I questioned. "She smells like flowers now." "Not like Mommy," he explained. "Kids notice everything. I should have paid more attention." Walking back to our bedroom, I found Melissa in the bathroom whispering into her phone. She hung up quickly when she saw me. "Who was that?" I inquired. "Just Rachel. Drama with her boyfriend again," she answered. But Rachel, her college roommate, had been happily married for 3 years. I should have trusted my instincts. Because 3 days later, my 7-year-old son would tell me something that would destroy everything I thought I knew about my life. Tuesday afternoon. I'd taken a half day to catch up on paperwork from home. The house was quiet except for the hum of the air conditioner. Melissa was at work. Sophie was at preschool until 3. The front door opened at 2:47. I knew because I'd just saved a client file and the timestamp burned itself into my memory, marking the exact moment my life exploded. "Dad?" Tommy's voice was small, uncertain. "In the office, buddy," I called back. He appeared in the doorway, backpack still on, his Avengers lunchbox dangling from one hand. Something was wrong. Tommy was 7 years old and made of pure energy. He didn't walk, he ran, didn't talk, he shouted. But today he stood there, shoulders slumped, looking at his sneakers. "Hey, what's wrong? Why aren't you at aftercare?" I asked. "Mrs. Catherine let me take the early bus. I said my stomach hurt," he admitted. I pushed back from my desk. "Come here." He climbed into my lap, something he hadn't done in months. His head rested against my chest, and I could feel him trembling. "Tommy, what's going on? Did something happen at school?" I pressed. He was quiet for so long I thought he might have fallen asleep. Then, in a voice so soft I almost missed it, Daddy, I saw Mommy kissing another man at the park yesterday. She told me it was our secret, but I don't like secrets. He whispered. The words didn't make sense at first. They floated in the air between us, impossible syllables. I felt my body go cold, then hot, then numb. My arms tightened around Tommy instinctively. What? The word came out strangled. Tommy started crying then, silent tears that soaked into my shirt. Yesterday, when Mrs. Kim took us to Riverside Park for science class, we were looking at trees for our leaf project and I saw Mommy's car. She was there with a man and they were kissing like you kiss Mommy and holding hands, he explained through his tears. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure Tommy could feel it. Rage, disbelief, and devastation crashed through me in waves, but I had to stay calm. Tell me what happened, buddy. It's okay. You're not in trouble, I assured him. I ran over because I was happy to see her. But when she saw me, she looked scared. The man walked away really fast. Mommy said I couldn't tell you because it would make you very, very sad. She said it was a special secret and I'm good at keeping secrets, right? But my stomach hurts, and I don't want to lie to you, Daddy. He confessed. What did the man look like? I asked. Tall. Dark hair. He wore a suit like you, but gray. He had a nice watch that was shiny, Tommy described. Melissa had taken Monday afternoon off for what she'd called personal errands. She'd been at Riverside Park during Tommy's field trip, thinking she was safe. Did Mommy say who he was? I inquired. She said he was helping her with a surprise for you. But it didn't look like a surprise, Dad, he replied. You did the right thing telling me, I managed, my voice steady despite the earthquake inside me. Secrets that hurt people aren't good secrets. I'm proud of you for being honest. Are you very sad? He asked. Sad? I was experiencing emotional fission. Every atom of trust and love splitting apart into pure rage. But Tommy didn't need to see that. I'm okay. Hey, why don't you go play Xbox for a while? You can have extra screen time today, I suggested. Really? He asked. Really? And Tommy? This stays between us for now, okay? Let me figure out the surprise Mommy mentioned, I told him. After he left, I sat in my office chair, staring at nothing. My son, my 7-year-old son, had just destroyed my marriage with 5 sentences. No, Melissa had destroyed it. Tommy had just told me about the wreckage. My mind raced through the past months with new clarity. The late nights, the new clothes, the way she'd been distant, distracted, how she'd been less interested in intimacy, claiming exhaustion, the weekend spa trips with friends I'd never met. The businessman in me began to take over. Emotion was useless now. I needed facts. I needed proof. I needed leverage. I opened my laptop and started researching divorce lawyers and private investigators. Melissa would be home in 3 hours, expecting dinner and normalcy. She'd kiss me hello like she hadn't been kissing another man 24 hours ago. As I tucked Tommy into bed that night, kissing his forehead and promising him everything would be okay, I was already planning my next move. Melissa had no idea that our 7-year-old had just signed her death warrant. Kevin Foster's office was above a dry cleaner in downtown White Plains, the kind of location that whispered discretion. I'd found him through a colleague who'd used his services during a corporate espionage case. Most people already know the truth when they come to me, Kevin said, sliding a contract across his desk. They just need proof for court. I need everything, I said, signing my name with a steady hand. Financial records, photographs, timeline, the works? The works costs extra, he warned. Money isn't the issue. Thoroughness is, I replied. Kevin studied me. How long have you suspected? 4 days since confirmation. But looking back, probably 3 months of signs I ignored, I admitted. That's usually how it goes. The retainer covers 3 weeks of surveillance, background checks, and a complete evidence package, he explained. I provided Melissa's details, work schedule, regular haunts, gym membership she barely used, her parents' address she supposedly visited every Thursday. Kevin took notes on a legal pad. "Any idea who the guy is?" he asked. "Tall, dark hair, wears gray suits and an expensive watch. My 7-year-old saw them together," I answered. Kevin's expression shifted slightly. "That's rough. Kids shouldn't have to carry that," he commented. The next 3 weeks were a masterclass in deception. I became an actor in my own life, playing the devoted husband while my marriage rotted from the inside. Every morning I'd make breakfast: scrambled eggs for Tommy, cereal for Sophie, coffee with 2 sugars for Melissa. Normal, routine, while she checked her phone and smiled at messages I knew weren't from Rachel or work. "Working late again tonight?" I'd ask, voice carefully neutral. "The Morrison campaign is killing me," she'd reply, not meeting my eyes. "You know how it is." I did know. Kevin was sending updates to a secure email account. Day 3, Melissa at the Marriott downtown, 12:47 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. Day 5, dinner at Romano's with subject identified as Ryan Walsh, recently divorced financial advisor at competing firm. Day 8, another hotel, different location, 3 hours this time. The photographs arrived in batches. Melissa laughing at something Ryan said over wine, her hand on his thigh in his BMW. The 2 of them kissing in the parking garage of his apartment building, her body pressed against him with an urgency I hadn't seen in our bedroom for months. Each image was a scalpel, cutting away another piece of the man I'd been. But I cataloged them methodically, building my case. The financial forensics were equally damning. Charges at lingerie stores when she'd claimed to be grocery shopping, restaurant receipts for 2 during her solo spa days. The hardest part was maintaining normalcy at home, helping Sophie with her alphabet homework while knowing Melissa was texting Ryan from the next room, attending Tommy's soccer game together, playing the perfect family while she checked her phone, every few minutes. Making love to her twice during those 3 weeks when she initiated, probably out of guilt, and pretending I didn't notice she smelled like a different man's cologne. One evening stands out with crystalline clarity. Melissa was getting ready for another work dinner, wearing the black dress I'd bought her for our 10th anniversary. "You look beautiful," I said from the doorway. She smiled, that same smile that used to make my heart race. Now it made my stomach turn. "Don't wait up. These client things always run late," she replied. "I'll keep dinner warm," I offered. She walked over, kissed my cheek, careful not to smudge her lipstick. "You're too good to me," she said. The irony was breathtaking. I watched from the window as she drove away to betray me, wearing the dress I'd bought her, the diamond earrings I'd given her last Christmas, the wedding ring she'd sworn meant everything. Kevin called that night. "She's at Walsh's apartment, 3rd time this week," he reported. "Get pictures," I instructed. "Already done." "Daniel, there's something else. I pulled Walsh's phone records. Legally, don't ask how. They're not just having an affair. They're planning a future. There are texts about her leaving you, about ring shopping, about starting fresh. The guy got divorced 6 months ago, and apparently your wife thinks she's going to be the next. Mrs. Walsh," he revealed. I sat in my dark office processing this. She wasn't just cheating. She was replacing me, had already written me out of her future. "How much more do you need?" Kevin asked. "Everything. I want every text, every receipt, every minute accounted for," I demanded. The final week of surveillance revealed the full scope. Melissa and Ryan at a jewelry store, looking at engagement rings while she still wore mine. Meeting with a real estate agent about condos. Most damaging of all, an email thread where they discussed custody arrangements. How she'd position me as an absent father, too focused on work to properly care for the children. 3.5 weeks after I hired Kevin, he called me at work. His voice was different, satisfied, almost grim. "Mr. Carter," he said, "I have everything you need, but I have to warn you, once you see this file, there's no going back." Kevin's office felt smaller with the weight of evidence between us. The manila folder on his desk might as well have been a loaded weapon. My hands were steady as I reached for it. "Before you open that," Kevin said, "you should know it's comprehensive." "Everything," I interrupted, opening the folder. The first photograph stopped my breath. Melissa and Ryan at the Marriott, kissing in the lobby with the casual intimacy of established lovers. The timestamp showed 1:15 p.m. last Tuesday when she'd texted me about being stuck in a budget meeting. I flipped through systematically. Page after page of betrayal documented with professional precision. Melissa entering Ryan's apartment building at various times. The two of them at restaurants I'd never taken her to, upscale places where they held hands across white tablecloths. One image showed her laughing, head thrown back, more alive than I'd seen her in years. "The text messages are in section 2, Kevin said quietly. I turned to printed screenshots, hundreds of them. The evolution of their affair laid out in digital breadcrumbs. It started 4 months ago, longer than I'd suspected. Professional messages about a joint project that quickly became personal. Within 2 weeks, they were texting constantly. Ryan. Can't stop thinking about lunch. When can I see you again? Melissa. Daniel has a conference Thursday. Come over. My conference in Boston. I'd asked her to come with me, make it a weekend getaway. She'd declined, claiming Sophie had a dance recital that didn't exist. Further down, the messages became more damaging. Melissa. He's a good father. That makes this harder. Ryan. Good fathers don't neglect their wives. Neglect? I worked 60-hour weeks to provide the life she'd said she wanted. When had providing become neglect? The worst came near the end. A conversation from 3 days ago. Ryan. The divorce lawyer says if we document his work schedule, we can argue for primary custody. Melissa. I've been keeping a journal, all his late nights, missed dinners. Ryan. Perfect. 6 more months and we can file. Your fresh start. Melissa. Our fresh start. I love you. I set the papers down carefully. The final section contained financial records, credit card charges at hotels, totaling over $3,000. A savings account I didn't know existed. With regular deposits, she was building an escape fund. There's one more thing, Kevin said, sliding another photograph across the desk. This is where it gets interesting. Melissa and Ryan at Goldstein's Jewelers, her trying on an engagement ring while still wearing mine. The image was dated 2 days ago. But here's the kicker, Kevin continued, pulling out another document. Ryan Walsh isn't just planning a future. With your wife. I did some extra digging. He's been engaged to someone else for 2 months. A surgeon named Jennifer Liu. He's playing your wife the same way she's playing you. What? I asked. The ring shopping? It was for his actual fiancée. He's been telling your wife what she wants to hear while planning his real future with someone else. Your wife is his rebound from his divorce, nothing more, Kevin explained. The irony was almost beautiful. Melissa was destroying our family for a man who was using her as a placeholder. The legal implications? Kevin began, but I held up a hand. I need a moment. He nodded and left the office. I sat alone with the wreckage of my marriage spread across his cheap desk. 11 years of marriage, 2 children, thousands of shared moments, all of it thrown away for a man who didn't even want her. But beneath the pain, something colder was taking shape. Melissa had made critical errors. She'd forgotten about the prenuptial agreement she'd signed, dismissing it as unromantic pessimism. She'd documented her affair thoroughly. Most importantly, she'd underestimated me. I pulled out my phone and called Richard Hawthorne. Richard, it's Daniel Carter. I need an appointment. Today, I said. I'm booked solid, he started. It's about the prenup you drafted for my marriage, the infidelity clause, I interrupted. A pause. How soon can you be here? He asked. Richard's office overlooked the Hudson. By the time I arrived, I'd compartmentalized my emotions into a locked box. This was business now. The prenuptial agreement is ironclad, Richard said after reviewing Kevin's evidence. Adultery triggers complete forfeiture of marital assets, spousal support, and significantly impacts custody arrangements. She gets nothing except what she brought into the marriage, which according to these records was debt from graduate school. What about custody? I asked. Documented infidelity, especially with evidence of planning to alienate children from a parent. No judge will award primary custody, joint at best for her, but likely supervised visitation initially, given she involved your son in keeping secrets, he explained. How quickly can you file? I inquired. I can have papers drawn up by tomorrow. But Daniel, are you certain? He questioned. She's ring shopping with another man while wearing my ring. She's building a case to take my children. There's nothing to salvage, I replied. Richard nodded, making notes. We'll need to secure assets immediately. Freeze joint accounts, document all marital property. We spent 2 hours strategizing, every detail planned. By the time I left, the papers were being drafted. Melissa would be served at her office Monday morning. I'd be at Tommy's school play, establishing my presence as the involved parent while her world imploded. That evening, I arranged for my parents to take the children. For the weekend, Melissa and I need some time to discuss adult things, I told my mother. She studied my face, seeing something there. Whatever you need, sweetheart, she replied. Tomorrow night, Melissa would come home expecting to continue her double life. Instead, she'd discover that her perfect deception had become her perfect destruction. I arranged everything on our dining room table with prosecutorial precision. The photographs formed a timeline down the center. 4 months of betrayal in chronological order. Financial records on the left, legal documents on the right with the prenuptial agreement on top, the infidelity clause tagged with a fluorescent marker. The divorce papers waited at my seat. The house felt different without the children. At 7:27, I heard her car in the driveway, the front door opened, keys dropping into the bowl. Daniel? Why is it so quiet? Where are the kids? She called out. In here, I called from the dining room. She appeared in the doorway, still in her work. Clothes. Though I knew she'd left the office at noon, her face was flushed, hair slightly mussed. She smelled like men's cologne, not mine. Why are you sitting in the dark? Where are... She stopped mid-sentence, seeing the table. The blood drained from her face. We need to talk, I said simply. Sit. She moved to her chair like a condemned prisoner, eyes darting across the evidence. Let me walk you through this, I said, my voice calm. Photo 1. You and Ryan Walsh at the Marriott downtown March 15th. That's the day you said you were presenting. To the Johnson Group. Photo 2. Same location, March 22nd. You were supposedly at your mother's for her birthday, which is in October. Daniel, please, she started. I continued as if she hadn't spoken. Photo 3. Romano's Restaurant, March 28th. You texted me that you were working late. Quite a desk, Italian marble, candlelight, a $300 bottle of wine. Tears started rolling down her cheeks, but I felt nothing. Should I continue? There are 47 more photographs. Or would you prefer the text messages? My personal favorite is from April 3rd, where you tell Ryan that I'm emotionally absent and more married to my job than to me, I stated. How? She whispered. Our son told me. Remember Tommy? The 7-year-old you made keep your secret? He saw you at Riverside Park during his field trip, I answered. I pulled out my phone, played the recording Kevin had obtained. Her voice filled the room. I'm almost ready to leave Daniel and start our real life together. 6 more months to build the custody case. I stopped the recording. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to sign these divorce papers tonight. Then you're going to pack and leave. The prenup you signed specifies that infidelity forfeits all claims to marital assets. This house, our investments, the savings, all mine. You can't, she protested. I can and I will. As for custody, judges don't look favorably on parents who involve children in deception. You'll get supervised visitation initially, I interrupted. She stood suddenly pacing. This is cruel. You're destroying our family, she accused. You destroyed our family the first time you kissed another man. I'm just making sure you pay the price, I replied. What about the children? She asked. They need a mother who doesn't make them accomplices to betrayal, I answered. You work constantly. You missed Tommy's playoff game, she countered. So you fell on another man's dick? That's your solution? I shot back. Ryan sees me, appreciates me, she began. Ryan is engaged to someone else, I interrupted. She stopped, staring at me. I pulled out the final evidence, a screenshot from Ryan's actual fiancé's Instagram posted 3 hours ago. A celebration dinner for their engagement, with a caption, "About 2 months since saying yes to forever." Did you think you were special? You're his midlife rebound from his divorce. His actual fiancée is Dr. Jennifer Liu, a surgeon at Mount Sinai. The ring shopping you did together? He bought the ring for her, not you. You've been played, Melissa. You destroyed our marriage for a man who's been using you, I revealed. She collapsed into the chair, sobbing. The woman I'd loved was gone, replaced by a stranger who'd gambled everything and lost it all for nothing. Sign the papers, I commanded. She signed with shaking hands, mascara streaking her cheeks. Where will I go? She asked. Not my problem, I replied. My parents, she started, already know. I sent them the evidence this afternoon, I stated. That broke something in her. She stood, walked to the stairs, then turned back. I did love you once, she said. I know. That's what makes this worse, I replied. As Melissa packed that night, crying and making phone calls to discover Ryan wouldn't answer, I felt something unexpected. Not satisfaction, but emptiness. I had won completely, but winning felt a lot, like losing everything that mattered. 6 months later, I watched Tommy teach Sophie to ride her bike in our driveway. Same house, same yard, but everything had changed. The divorce had been finalized in record time. The prenup held. Melissa walked away with her car and $30,000 in debt. She lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in Yonkers now, working retail at Nordstrom. The children saw her every other weekend. Ryan Walsh had disappeared from her life the moment she'd confronted him about his engagement. His wedding to Dr. Liu had proceeded as planned. He'd moved to Connecticut with his new wife. Melissa never heard from him again. My parents had helped during the transition. Melissa's parents maintained their relationship with us, visiting the grandchildren regularly, disappointed but not surprised by their daughter's choices. Dad, look, Sophie called, wobbling down the driveway. I'm doing it! Great job, sweetheart, I cheered. Later, reading bedtime stories, Tommy asked, Dad, are you happy? I'm getting there, buddy, are you? I responded. He nodded. I miss Mommy sometimes, but I like when it's just us two, he admitted. That's okay. You're allowed to miss her, I assured him. Do you forgive her? He asked. I'm working on it. Forgiveness takes time, I answered. I thought about the journey, from betrayal to rage to this strange peace. Justice and satisfaction weren't the same thing. I'd protected my children, preserved my dignity, made Melissa pay the price. Sometimes I wondered if I'd been too ruthless. But then I'd remember Tommy's tears about Mommy's secret, and my resolve would harden. The perfect lie was gone, replaced by imperfect truth. A smaller life, but built on solid ground. Just a man and his children starting over, it was enough. And so, we've reached the end of today's story. Was it what you expected, or did it take a twist you didn't see coming? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here or just haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to join our community. I bring you fresh, captivating stories every day, so click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.